Hello everyone and welcome to Warren's Team Talk. Thank you very much for joining me today, and as usual on a Saturday we've got the Match Day live show for you, and I hope this one's going to be an absolute corker. I'm sure it will be. It always is. Really entertaining, lots of drama, spills, thrills and excitement. But first, and before we get started, I just want to apologise for being a wee bit late. It took me a bit longer than I anticipated to get the damn thing up and running, so apologies for that. But we're here now, and hopefully it'll be good. And we've got Taib in the chat. He says, "Hi Warren, I'm on time today. Laugh out loud. I hope you're well, mate." Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Taib. Mate, as long as you're here, my man, I don't care whether you're late, early, on time, whatever it is. As long as you're here, that's all that matters. Joanne says, "Hi, hello, Warren." Hi, Joanne. I hope you're well. Hope you're looking forward to Halloween, because I am. And Joanne says, "Hi, hello, Taib." Right, so without further ado, let's get into it. And yeah, so what I'm doing today, rather than calling out and not calling out, that's the wrong word. Rather than bigging up loads and loads of different channels, from now on, I'm gonna have a channel of the week. And to start it off, I'm gonna talk to you about a man who's a good mate of mine, a guy by the name of Del Boy, and his channel, which is Del Boy Gunner TV. He does some really excellent content. Yeah, so go and check him out. He does vlogs as well, which are absolutely fantastic. And he does content about Arsenal, and he does content as well about the Irish football team as well. And he also has got like a vlog channel as well, which he does. Sometimes he goes around the country when he's working and films while he's out working and whatnot, just so you can see what he gets up to during the course of the day, which is very, very entertaining, I have to say. So for me, the highlight of Del Boy's YouTube channel so far was the day that he met Liam Brady and interviewed Liam Brady, and you can see it there. The interview that he did with him was an absolute corker of an interview, and right at the end, Liam Brady, he just showed the man is just hilarious. I have to be careful what I say here because I don't want to get myself into trouble. But he has had, let's just say, he has a few disagreements with a fella called Eamon Dunphy on Irish TV about the Irish national team. And Del Boy Gunner said to him, he said, "Have you got a message for Eamon Dunphy if he's watching?" And Liam Brady said, "Who? Who's Eamon Dunphy?" Mate, it was absolutely hilarious. Go and watch that video of Del Boy's where he interviews Liam Brady. It's absolutely superb. Honestly, it's quality. And that guy, for those of you who don't know, Liam Brady was one of Arsenal's greatest ever players. Literally, what he could do with the football was unbelievable. And I'm telling you now, he'd walk into this current Arsenal team, walk into it, and he would be the team's best player without a shadow of a doubt. What he could do with the football was just incredible. Anyway, but me and Del Boy, we're going to be doing a video soon about Liam Brady and his career. So keep your eyes open for that. That is going to be absolutely fantastic. Craig AFC 87 says, "Forget Sky Sports News and Sky Max. It's Warren's Soccer Saturday. Let's go. Yes, let's go. Let's go." Thank you very much, Craig. Lovely to see you, mate. I love that comment. Absolutely superb. Thank you, buddy. So let's move on. So let's have a look at the league table for the Premier League. So this is the Premier League as it was yesterday. And the teams that are highlighted in orange are the teams that we're going to be focusing on today in the show. So it's Manchester City and Brighton and Crystal Palace and Everton. We'll be looking at their games. And yeah, so as you can see, Arsenal are sitting proudly top of the table at the moment. So there you go. That's the Premier League table. And then in the Scottish Premiership, today we're going to be looking at the game as well between Rangers and Livingston at Ibrox. Rangers are currently sat second in the table, 2 points behind their arch rival Celtic. If they win this game, they will go back to the top of the table. So, yeah, let's see what happens with that. Be a tough game because Livingston they're a bit unpredictable, as you can see. They've won 5, lost 5. So if they turn up, it could be a real tricky afternoon, I think, for Rangers. I don't think they'll have it all their own way. And then the Championship League table, again, all the teams in orange are the ones that we're going to be focusing on, which are Sheffield United and Norwich and Middlesbrough against Huddersfield, because those two games should be quite fiercely contested because they're playing Sheffield United and Norwich are playing, and that's up near the top. And then Middlesbrough and Huddersfield are near the bottom of the table. So that should be quite a fiercely contested match as well. So they should all be really interesting games, in my opinion. So the 3 p.m. kickoffs that we're covering today are Everton against Crystal Palace, Manchester City against Brighton, Rangers against Livingston, Middlesbrough against Huddersfield Town, and Sheffield United against Norwich City. So there was a kickoff at lunchtime today, which Joanne is just talking about, and she says, good win for Forest. It was a good win, and there you have it. It was Nottingham Forest 1, Liverpool 0. A guy by the name of Wanoni scored the goal in the 55th minute. Yet another defeat for Liverpool, and it's looking increasingly unlikely that they're going to be able to mount a serious title challenge. But as I keep saying, don't write them off. I remember years ago on New Year's Eve, they were sat 12th in the old First Division, right? And then they went on this massive run and they ended up hauling back the lead and ended up winning the title. So do not write them off, because I'm telling you, if there's any club that can pull back a big deficit in points, it's them. And they can. I've seen them do it before. So there you go. There's the match stats. Forest had 10 shots. Liverpool had 15. They both had 7 shots on target. And the corner count was 11-2 to Liverpool. And the foul count was 14 to Forest and 8 to Liverpool. And Liverpool had 75% possession. Gee whiz, that's unreal. It really is. So the lineups and the formations today. This is the Everton and Crystal Palace sides for today's game. Everton going into this game, and their last 5 games have drawn 1, 1-2, and and lost 2. They've gone with Pickford in goal, Coleman, Cody, Tarkovsky, Mikolenko, Onana, Garner, Iwobi, Gordon, Gray, and Calvert-Lewin. Palace, in their last 5 games, they've drawn 2, lost 1, and won 2. And their lineup today is Guayata, Ward, Gui, Anderson, Mitchell, Ayew, Miliova, Jevic, Eze, Delise, Edward, and Zaha. And And then the formations, Everton are going with a 4-3-3. Palace are going with a 4-3-3-2. Manchester City, in their last 5 games, they've drawn 1, won 3, and lost 1. And their lineup for today is Ederson, Akanji, Diaz, Laporte, Cancelo, Rodrigo, De Bruyne, who's captain, Bernardo, Mahrez, Grealish, and Haaland. And then Brighton, they've gone with Sanchez, Webster, Dunk, Marsh, McAllister, Trossard, Gross, Lallana, Welbeck, Caicedo, and Veltman. And in their last 5 games, they've won 1, drawn 1, lost 2, and drawn 1. So that's the 2 Premiership games, English Premier League games. Man City's formation is they're going with a 4-3-3, and Brighton are going with a 3-4-2-1. So there. And in Scotland, the Rangers against Livingston game. Rangers have, in the last 5 games, have lost 1 and won 4, as well as being thumped 7-1 at home to Rangers. And their team for today is McGregor, Tavernier, King, Davies, Barisic, Lundstrom, Davies, Tillman, Arfield, Kent, and Kolak. And Livingston's lineup is Shamal George, Nicky Devlin, Ayo Obeleyi, Jack Fitzwater, Christian Montario, Jason Holt, Sean Kelly, Andrew Shinney, Stephen Kelly, Scott Pittman, and Joel Nogley. And in their last 5 games, they've won 3 and lost 2. And the lineups, Rangers are going for a 4-2-3-1, and Livingston are going with a 5-3-2. And into the Championship now, the games that we're looking at there. The first one is Middlesbrough against Huddersfield Town. Middlesbrough are going with Stefan, Jones, Gills, Moat, Fry, Smith, Hosen, his captain, McNair, Watmore, Lennon, and Atpom. And in their last 5 games, they've drawn 1, lost 3, and won 1. Huddersfield, on the other hand, in their last 5 games, they've lost 3, drawn 1, and won 1. And their team for today is Nicol, Turton, Thomas, Casamu, Holmes, Raduni, Camara, Ward, Lee's captain, Nakayama, and Helic. And let's go to the next one. And their formations are Middlesbrough are going for a 4-3-3, and Huddersfield are going for a 4-2-3-1. Sheffield United against Norwich now. Sheffield United in their last 5 games have won 1, drawn 2, and lost 2. Norwich, on the other hand, in their last 5, they've suffered a bit of a dip in form recently. They've only won 1 game in the last 5. They've also drawn 1 and lost 3. And their lineup today is Gunn, Aarons, Hanley, Gibson, Hayden, Campbell, Ramsey, Pookie, Sargent, Nunes, and Giannalis. So there you go. That's the lineups for Sheffield United and Norwich. And the formations, Sheffield United are going for a 3-4-1-2, and Norwich are going for a 4-3-3. So there you go. That's all the lineups and the starting line. That's all the formations and starting lineups and league tables and current form out the window. So let's get back into the chat. Joanne says, I'm in bed with 2 cats. Oh my good God. Well, I hope that goes well for you, Joanne. I'm sure you'll have a nice furry time there. Fair play to you, mate. I had a feeling for us, would you? Yeah, and yeah, Liverpool. And see, the thing is, like Jurgen Klopp, this happened to him when he was at Dortmund, and they went on this really bad run one season where they lost loads of games. They ended up down near the bottom of the table. And all of a sudden, it just started turning around and they flew up the table again. So, I don't know. It's just, look, to me, it's just a bit like history repeating itself. So, yeah, fair play. Did you put a bet on, Joanne? Joanne, I'm having an afternoon break from painting the porch ceiling. Well, fair play. I hope you enjoy your rest, and thank you for tuning in and listening to me. Craig, AFC 87, says, Warren, what did you make of Arsenal performance against PSV on Thursday? I thought PSV were poor. Mate, I have to be honest, I didn't watch it. The reason being was that I had a COVID jab and a flu jab on the Wednesday. And that afternoon, I felt really, really unwell. Sorry, it was that day I had the COVID and flu jab, and I felt really, really unwell. So I just went to bed and sleep. Hold on just a second. I'm just going to look at this text. I've got an important text here. Right. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so I don't know. I haven't even watched the highlights, so because I haven't had time, but yeah, it will be yeah, so I can't answer that question, mate. But I've heard it wasn't good, I have to say. Zach Football TV says, hi, Warren. My dad and I are watching you on the TV. Oh, bless you, Zach. And good work with the drain, Zach. I was really impressed with that. I hope you managed to sort it out and it doesn't come back again. Please, everyone, make sure you go and subscribe to this young fella's channel. He's really young guy. He's Del Boy Gunner's son. And he's got a channel there called Zach Football TV. And he's a lovely little lad. And he's just started his own YouTube channel. So please, please, please go and support him and subscribe to his channel. He's got some brilliant videos, especially the one about the block drain. They had a big downpour of rain the other day in Dublin, and Zach went down the road and made a video of him trying to unblock the drain. It was absolutely brilliant. Craig, AFC 87, says, Warren Nketiah needs to be sold. He's simply not good enough. Just runs around like a headless chicken. Mate, I agree with you. And I think, to be honest, I think he would struggle in the Championship. When he was at Leeds, let's not forget, he couldn't get a game playing for Leeds when he was playing for Leeds in the Championship. So I don't understand why he's at Arsenal, to be quite frank. I really don't. Joanne Smith is saying 3-1 to Everton. So yeah, what's everyone's predictions for the games this afternoon? Joanne's going 3-1 to Everton. Manchester City 6, Brighton 0. Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't think it'd be 6-0, but I think Brighton might get a bit of a beating. I think maybe 3-0, 2 or 3-0. I think 6-0 is a bit harsh, Joanne. But yeah, City are quite relentless at the moment, to be honest, though, aren't they? A happy 70th birthday. Is it Arsenal's birthday today, Will? Big up to Arsene Wenger and happy birthday to him. I hope he has a great day. Happy 73rd birthday to him. And Gabriel signed a new contract. Yeah, well, let's see. Let's see if his form improves, because he's not been good for a while, has he? Let's be fair. Man City are due a high score. Yeah, probably. I don't disagree with you there. Tony Ibarra says, hello, Warren. I hope all is well. Hey, Joanne, how are you, darling? Really enjoying this weekend show we're on. Thank you, mate. Lovely to see you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Yeah, everyone, please throw in your predictions for the game today. The games today, I should say. Everton against Crystal Palace, Man City against Brighton, Rangers against Livingston, Middlesbrough against Huddersfield, and Sheffield United against Norwich. And then also the game tomorrow between Arsenal and who is it Arsenal playing tomorrow? God, that's embarrassing. Yeah. Who Arsenal got tomorrow? Sorry, guys, I just want to check, see who Arsenal are playing tomorrow. It's really bad, isn't it? So, yeah, Southampton away, that's right. Jan says, Tony, I'm fine. I've been painting, laugh out loud all day. Mind you, I have to say I like the smell of paint. I do like it. Joanne says Southampton. That's right, it is. So yeah, everyone, put your predictions in for the game. The games. I'll be interested to see what you think is going to happen. Yeah. So let's get started. Let's go and see what is going on. Because the game should have been going for about 5 minutes by now. So let's get the scores up and see what's what. Right. Okay. So far it's goal. Excuse me. So far it's goalless in both of the games. But let's see what happens, whether it stays that way. And let's see if I'm gonna put them. Don't worry, I'm gonna put the screens up in a minute. I'm just trying to load them up. And doesn't look like it's going very well in the cricket for England in the T20. And in Scotland, it's 0-0 between Rangers and Livingston. And good win today for Celtic. Celtic won 4-3. So what I said earlier was incorrect because Celtic have already won. So Rangers can't go top. They can just reduce the deficit at the top to 1 point if they manage to win today. So there you go. And right, that's that one. And now right, guys, just give me 2 seconds because I'm trying to get Right, here we go. And there's been a goal already in one of the games. So here we go. Come at Bramall Lane in Sheffield. Okay. At Bramall Lane in Sheffield, there's been a goal and it's gone to Norwich City. It's Sheffield United 0, Norwich City 1, and it's been scored by Pookie in the 3rd minute. Let's see how he scored the goal. Sheffield United 0, Norwich City 1. Timo Pukki, Norwich, took a right-footed shot from the centre of the box to the bottom right corner. Norwich 1-0 up then at away at Sheffield United. A massive, if that stays like that, it'd be a massive result in the battle for the for promotion and also for the Championship title. But let's start getting some of these screens in the display. So let's get that up. Right. Okay. There we go. So it's currently Manchester City 0, Brighton 0, and Manchester City 0, Everton 0, Crystal Palace 0. So there you go. So let's get back into the comments. And Tony Ibarra says 4-1 City, 2-1 Arsenal, house painting or art painting, Joanne Smith. 4-1 City. Yeah, that sounds an interesting one. 2-1 Arsenal. Yeah, I think it might well be. That's what I thought it would be as well. You certainly need to start putting in a few more convincing performances. Ron, if Arsenal is still topped by Xmas and New Year, the board must give Arteta funds in the January transfer window. See, this is the thing. I'm not convinced that they're going to. I just think if they're top come Christmas and New Year, I just think the board might turn around to him and say, well, what do you need the money for? We're top. Why do we need to spend any more money? But they do need to. But I think they might use that as an excuse not to spend any money. Bargav says, hey, Warren, just woke up. How was the Liverpool game? I'm hoping Brighton can win. Well, Liverpool, my friend, lost 1-0 at Notts Forest. Let me just bring up the slide so that we can have a look at it for you, mate. Hold on a second and you can look at the match stats for it. Where is it? There you go. So, yeah, Forest beat Liverpool 1-0. Awoniyi scored in the 55th minute to give Notts Forest a 1-0 lead. Liverpool had 75% possession in the game. They had 15 shots against Forest's 10, and they both had 7 shots on target. And Liverpool won the corner count 11-2, and the foul count was 14-8. So, yeah, bad result for Liverpool, I have to say. So I dare say that was a few strong words exchanged in the Liverpool dressing room at the end of the match. But you never know. Bug, just read that. Joanne says, Tony, I've been painting my ceiling in the porch purple. Fair play, Joanne. I like purple. It sounds nice. And I wouldn't be surprised if we lost tomorrow or 0-0. Yeah, we haven't been playing well of late, in my opinion. I think we've been a bit fortunate in some of the games, but fair play, we keep winning. So you can't really ask for much more than that. As long as they win, that's all we can really ask for. And Bargo says, wow, Nottingham Forest really counted well. 25% possession, 7 shots on target. Good slide. Fair play, man. Thank you. And yeah, it's not a good result for Liverpool. Yeah, it's not looking good, is it? Yes, Joanne says yes, purple with silver glitter. What about some stars, like, you know, luminous stars? You thought about that, Joanne? Would you do that? Put some luminous stars on the ceiling, something like that. It'd be pretty cool, I think. So let's go back to this and see what's going on. And there's been a goal at Goodison Park. It's gone to Everton. And Everton have the lead. It's Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0. So let's go and find out about that. Let's see what's happened there. Let's see what happened there. It's Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0. 13 minutes gone. Calvert-Lewin gave Everton the lead in the 11th minute. The goal was assisted by Iwobi. So let's see what happened. So, goal, Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0. Dominic Calvert-Lewin took a right-footed shot from the centre of the box to the bottom left corner, and it was assisted by Alex Iwobi. So Everton 1-0 up against Crystal Palace. So guys, don't forget what I said earlier as well. Go and subscribe to Del Boy Gunner. Del Boy Gunner is my YouTube channel of the week this week. All right. So anytime I do a stream, I'll be mentioning Del Boy. Okay. So let's bring up the stuff about Del Boy's channel. There's a link to his channel in the description of this video, and that's some images and whatnot from his channel. And there's his catchphrase, what's the crack, what's the bleeding story. And yeah, he once interviewed the legend, and legend's not a good enough word for it, to be honest. He interviewed the great man himself, Liam Brady, a man who's revered, let me tell you, by some of the greatest players in the world, the likes of Marco Tardelli and Michel Platini and some of the other ones. Del Boy once told me this story that there was a game at Shamrock Rovers Stadium or something involving the Italian side, and Liam knew a lot of the players, and they were giving him due reverence when he turned up. And listen, when he was in Italy, he was absolutely superb. But like I said, Del Boy and I are going to do a video about Liam's career, and you're going to see what an absolute legend of a player he was, because he was a superb player. Yeah, but make sure you go and check out this interview that Del Boy did with him as well. It was absolutely amazing. Fair play to Del Boy. So yeah, make sure you go and subscribe to Del Boy. And while you're at it, make sure that you subscribe to his son's channel as well. Zach Football TV. So yeah, there we go. So currently there's 6 people in the chat, guys. If you haven't done it already, please don't forget to put a like on the video. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. But now, without further ado and too much more faffing about, let's get back to what we're supposed to be here talking about, and that's today's football. So here we go. So the scores so far in the Premier League today. It's Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0, 15 minutes gone at Goodison Park. Sorry, 17 minutes gone now. Manchester City 0, Brighton 0, 17 minutes gone at the Etihad. So there you have it. Let me just see what's going on in some of the other games we're covering in today's matches. And there's been another goal at Bramall Lane. And this one has also gone to Norwich City. It's Sheffield United 0, Norwich City 2. And Pookie has got that goal as well. So we need to do this. What's going on? Yeah, so there you go. Pookie has given Norwich a 2-goal lead at Sheffield United, and let's see how he scored the goal. Sheffield United 0, Norwich City 2. Timo Pukki of Norwich City took a right-footed shot from the centre of the box to the bottom left corner. So it's now Sheffield United 0, Norwich City 2. 18 minutes gone there, and Norwich looks like they are off to a flyer. The other game that we're looking at in the Championship is currently Middlesbrough 0, Huddersfield Town 0. 20 minutes gone there. And let's see what's going on up at Ibrox. So let's go up to Ibrox. Oh dear. And look at this, guys. Drama at Ibrox. And there's been a goal already at Ibrox. And Rangers fans. It's big news for Rangers fans, I have to say. The scoreline, wait for it, the scoreline is Rangers 0, Livingston 1. And the goal was scored by Nobley in the 4th minute. There you go. Rangers in trouble. I knew this would be a difficult game for Rangers. And there it is. It's been confirmed. Rangers 0, Livingston 1. Rangers have had 73% possession. They've had 2 shots, none on target. Livingston have had 4 shots, 1 on target. And the corner count is 2-0 in favour of Livingston. And the foul count is 3-2 to Rangers. So there you go. That's it. Rangers are in trouble. Yeah, could be a very good afternoon for Celtic at this rate. So there you go. What can you say about that? If you're a Rangers fan, it's not good. It's not good at all. So let's get back into the chat. And Bargav says, do you see Liverpool still in the top 4, but they still have games in hand? Well, Bargav, looking at the league table at the moment, mate, no, because where are they now? In the league table. Let's have a look. In the league table, yeah, so currently they're 7th. Played 11, won 4, drew 4, lost 3, 22 goals scored, 13 conceded, and they're on 16 points. So they're not in the top 4. Do I think that they'll make the top 4? Yes, I do. I do think they will. But I don't know. They need to get their act together. That's all I'm going to say. So they need to get their act together. And there's been a goal at the Etihad. There's been a goal at... And it's gone to Manchester City. It's Manchester City 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. And let's go and check out that goal. "22 minutes gone there at the Etihad." And let's see what happened with that goal. It's Manchester City 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 0, and Erling Haaland, Manchester City. No surprise there. Right-footed shot from the right side of the box to the centre of the goal. 1-0 to Manchester City. So, right, guys, this question for you. How many goals do you think Erling Haaland is going to end up scoring this season for Manchester City? Because I think he's going to get about 50 at this rate. It's just ridiculous. I mean, because I think I'm right in saying that Norway aren't in the World Cup. So while the World Cup's on, he's probably going to have a good rest and refresh his batteries, and he's going to come back again, banging. It's terrifying. All right, I wonder how many he's going to get today. How many do you think he's going to score today, and how many do you think he's going to get in the season? So there we go. Let's go back to the chat. Joanne says, seeing that signing of Gabriel has made me think we're going downhill. We need to sign up Martinelli and Saliba. Yeah, we do need to sign those 2 lads up. Whether we will be able to or not, I don't know. It is a bit of a worry. It's getting a bit close to the mark, isn't it, really? Joanne says, yay! Craig AFC 87 says Arsenal need to give Saliba, Martinelli, Saka a new long-term contract. Yes, they do, Craig. 100%, mate. Joanne Smith says, come on, you toffees. Yep. I wonder if our good friend James Dunlop, Jimmy D, is at the match today. Or if he is, I bet he's enjoying himself. And Joanne says, Norwich City, laugh out loud, Yo-Yo Club. Well, yeah. What's the people in the town been saying about Norwich this season? Because my mate is not happy with the manager, that Dean Smith. He's not happy at all. He doesn't rate him one little bit. But what have you heard, Joanne? And here he is. Here he is. The main man, Tony Blackwell. Afternoon, Warren. Yeah, afternoon, mate. I hope you're good. I'm good, thanks, mate. Lovely to see you. Thanks for coming in. Afternoon, everyone, says Tony. I hope Terence is okay and that he's curtailing his working activities. Bargaz says, I think he will have a double today, all competitions or Premier League. Two things, right? Let's say I want a figure for all competitions and then just the Premier League, right? See what do you guys think? Because in the Premier League, I think he's going to bag 50. I really do. And all competitions, about 65. Because that man is an absolute beast. He is. He's an absolute beast. Joanne says, we just signed crap. Yeah, some of our signings haven't been great, have they? Probably be a few more Brazilians and maybe a couple of loan signings or something. I just don't see the board spending any money. Bargav says, the thing with Gabriel is there are very few left-sided ball-playing centre-backs. Real Madrid supposedly want him. Could he get better? See, this is the thing, isn't it? When he came, I remember how everyone was raving about him because United were in for him, and there were a few other big clubs around Europe who were interested in him. And the thing is, Kieran Tierney can play left-sided centre-back. Because he plays as a left-sided centre-back for the Scottish national team, but he plays there in a 3. That's the thing. Normally, when he plays for Scotland play with 5 at the back, and he plays as left-sided centre-back, and Andy Robertson plays as a left wing-back. I don't know whether Tierney would be able to play left-sided centre-back in a 4, just 2 centre-backs rather than a 3. I don't know. But it might be worth trying it in one of these, cup ties or something when we play a small side, just to see how it works out. Because it's not working with him, is it? He just keeps making stupid mistakes. He's really rash. It's a bit of he's defending is a bit of a worry. But I just think he needs some proper coaching. And for me, it highlights the problem there is at Arsenal with the coaching. I've always said it. There is a problem with the coaching there. Because how many of our players, seriously, right? How many of them have actually improved that much? When you compare other young players around the Premier League, like Phil Foden and whatnot, how many of our players have improved at the same sort of rate as some of their contemporaries around the rest of the Premier League? My opinion is I don't think they have. I don't think Saka's any better than what he was when he first came in the team. Honestly, I'm struggling to think of one. Tony Blackwell says, Terence is well. Good to hear all's good. Thank you, mate. It's good to hear. Give me my best wishes. Joanne says, I'm going out with my friend Monday. Her and her husband are paranormal investigators. Fantastic. There any chance that they can take you out on one of their investigations? And that would be absolutely fascinating. It really would. Jared says Arsenal are just one big problem. Well, there's lots of problems at the club, and most of it centers around the management team, to be quite honest. So yeah, I think you're probably right, Joanne. So let's get back and see what's going on in our matches. So it's, let me just refresh that. So it's 31 minutes gone in both of the games in the Premier League. It's Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0, and it's Manchester City 1, Brighton 0. 31 minutes gone there in both the games. And let's see what is going on in the Championship. Let's just refresh it. And up at the Riverside Stadium, it's Middlesbrough 0, Huddersfield 0. And up in Bramall Lane, it's Sheffield United 0, Norwich City 2. 32 minutes gone at Bramall Lane and 28 minutes gone at the Riverside. Let's go up to Ibrox now, see what's been going on there, see if Rangers have been able to pull a goal back or not. Let's go and check that out. Just refresh the screen. And with 31 minutes gone, it's still Rangers 0, Livingston 1. Nobody scored for Livingston in the 4th minute. So it's still not looking good for Rangers. Trailing 1-0 at home. I knew that game was going to be difficult. I really did. I know you're probably saying I'm being wise after them, but it's true. I thought they would struggle. I really did. And then tonight, Chelsea are playing Manchester United. What do you think, guys? What do you reckon? What's your predictions for the Chelsea-Manchester United game? I'd be interested to hear what you think. Tell me about that. So let's get back into the comments and see what you guys think about what's going on. Joanne says, I may be going out with them one night. We are going to that Adam and Eve pub Monday, which is haunted. Yeah, that would be fantastic. I think I mentioned this when I did that stream on Terry's channel, on Diesel's channel about ghosts. There was a pub just down the road from where I live. And it dates back hundreds and hundreds of years. And apparently there was a laughing cavalier in that pub. And he would just appear and people would see him laughing. Apparently my mum reckons she see it. But yeah, fair. I never see it, I have to say. And I went in that pub a fair bit, but I never see it. Or him, I should say. I should call it, bless him. Joanne says, yeah, 5 more goals, City, come on. Yeah, that's funny. And Del Boy says, what's the crack? What's the bleeding story, Warren? I thought you had a picture of me on the screen. I did, fella. You want to see it again? Let's put it up again. See if I can find it. There are you and Liam Brady, the Dublin's the dynamic duo in full effect. And Tony Blackwell says, afternoon, Del Boy. And the Aussie Gooner says, nah, Del Boy, I was... What? Nah, Del Boy, that was posh. No. Mate, how are you doing, Aussie Gooner? Listen, me and Aussie Gooner did a fantastic stream the other day, and he spoke about I interviewed him, and I asked him all about his life as a football fan growing up in Australia. It was absolutely superb. Well, I thought it was. It was brilliant. Please go and check it out, and also go and check out the Aussie Gooner channel. He does some brilliant work on there. His analysis, reviews, and previews are absolutely on point. He also does something called The Yarn, which is like a podcast thing where he gets 3 guys onto his channel chatting about this and that and what's going on with regards to Arsenal. And then he's also just started this thing called what do you call it? What's it called? Calling a spade, that's right. And it is absolutely superb. He did one recently about foreign fans, and it was brilliant. I absolutely loved it, and fair play to the man. His analysis and his passion for Arsenal is absolutely superb. So please go and check him out and give him a subscribe, put likes on these videos, and all the rest of it. And Aussie Gooner's put in another chat saying, nah, at Del Boy Gunner TV, day was posh. Mate, superb stuff. And Tony Blackwell says, if Man U play like they did against the Spuds, it's their win. Yeah. Is it? Where is it? Is it? If it's at Old Trafford, yeah, I think they might turn Chelsea over. But the thing is, Potter seems to have started to get Chelsea playing the way he wants them to. So I don't think it's going to be as easy for United as it was against Spurs. Like, that game was unreal. They had like 10 shots on target or something crazy in that game. And Joe says, I'm taking my EMF meter with me. We're going to ask the owners about Lord Sheffield, who haunts it. That'd be interesting, particularly if you can get contact with him. But whatever you do, don't start bloody using Ouija boards and whatnot. Joanne Smith says, Adam and E pub, smallest pub in Norwich. Is that where you're going? That would be interesting. I'll be interested to hear what happens. Don't forget to take some pictures if you can, Joanne. Delboy Gunner says, hi, Tony. Hi, Joe. Hi, Aussie. And Tony Blackwell says, at Chelsea, Gaff. Yeah, I'm not sure that United are going to win that then. I think the best they can hope for is a draw. Yeah, also, guys, don't forget, this guy is on the screen at the moment chatting with Liam Brady there. Please make sure that you go and check out his son's channel, Zach Football TV. He's a little guy, a young lad, and he's just set up his own YouTube channel. He's put a few videos up already. There's an absolutely brilliant one. For me, I think it's quality. I really do. He put a video up where he goes down the road and starts unblocking the drain. There was a massive downpour in Dublin, apparently, the other day. And Zach found a blocked drain and he went down there and unblocked it. So fair play to him. So, yeah, please make sure you go and do that. The channel's called Zach, Z-A-C, Football TV. So, yeah, go and check that out. So, let's go and see what's going on with this football. Let's hit the refresh button. So it's still 40 gone. Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0, and Manchester City 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. And Tony's saying there's a penalty to City. Let's go and see what's going on then. Let's see. A penalty to Manchester City. Bernardo Silva draws a foul in the penalty area. So the decision went to VAR. So there you go. VAR decided that City should be awarded a penalty, which reminds me, I need to put my thingy on. Let's see. I've got another. Where is it? It's a bit weird. Why is it not there? Oh, maybe it's in here. Yeah, here it is. And it's a goal. It's a goal. City have scored. Manchester City 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Erling Haaland, Manchester City, left-footed shot from the centre of the box. Manchester City 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. So there you go. Chelsea. What am I talking about Chelsea for? Manchester City firmly in the driving seat now at home to Brighton. 2-0 up, and it's not half time yet. So how many do we think Manchester City will get? So if Manchester City win that game, that will cut the deficit at the top down to 1 point between them and Arsenal. But Arsenal obviously have a game in hand, and that game in hand will be tomorrow against Southampton at the St Mary's Stadium. I nearly said the Dell there, but I managed to stop myself. And Tony says penalty to City. Yep, we just saw that. 2-0 Haaland, says Tony. Absolutely, mate. Joanne Smith said he does make himself known, Lord Sheffield. I will try and do a video. Yeah, do. City have had 3 VAR decisions on penalty this game, 2 turned down. Wow, that's mad, isn't it? So let's see if we can get the live commentary switched on for the Premier League, because we're missing out a wee bit here, aren't we? So there's a comment coming in here from Paul Robinson, former England goalkeeper, who's on BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra, whipped hard and low with his left foot across Sanchez, who went the right way, but it was past him before he dived. It was never a question. So there you go. Manchester City 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. And yeah, someone's put a comment in as well on the BBC website saying that's goal number 17 for Erling Haaland in the Premier League. He needs just 6 more to equal the total to win the Golden Boot last season, and it's October. Man, that is crazy. Crazy. That's crazy talk. The bloke has scored 17 goals already, right? He only needs to score 6 more, and it will equal the total that was required to win the Golden Boot last season. That is a madness. And it's only October. Joanne says, 4 goals. Come on, City. Yeah, exactly. It's shocking, isn't it? That is 12 goals in 5 Premier League home games for Erling Haaland. At least this is his 5th game. It's actually 4.5. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what he means by that. It doesn't make any sense to me, because he's Yeah, he's scored more than he's played in more than 5 games. But anyway, 3 minutes to go in the half. It's Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0. Paul Robinson says Brighton have to get in and regroup at half time. Yeah, but I mean, other teams have gone to the Etihad and been far more than 2 down at half time. So I don't think they should throw the baby out with the bathwater at this point. Let's see what happens. Let's go and check what's happening in the other games. And in the Championship, in our 2 games, it's in the Championship, in our 2 games, it's still Sheffield United 0, Norwich City 2. Timo Pukki scored both goals there for Norwich. And up at the Riverside Stadium in Middlesbrough, it's still Middlesbrough 0, Huddersfield Town 0, and the half-time whistle has gone there. And they're into added on time at the end of the first half at Bramall Lane. So, and the half-time whistle has gone at the Etihad. It's Manchester City 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Once again, it's the Erling Haaland show as he helps himself to another brace in the opening 45 minutes. So there you go. Let's see what's going on. And it's still playing. They're still playing at Goodison. Everton are 1-0 up at the moment at home to Crystal Palace. And there's 3 minutes of added on time been played there. So let's see what's going on at Ibrox. 3 minutes of added on time at Ibrox, and it's still Rangers 0, Livingston 1. So Rangers trailing. Looks like they're going to be trailing at half time, thanks to a goal by Noble in the 4th minute. Rangers really seriously need to win this game, to be honest. Let's have a look at the table. If they lose this game, they will be 5 points behind Celtic in the league. And the way things are going at the moment, I just don't think that's doable, to be honest. And it might do. I mean, they've got to play Celtic a couple of times yet, but the way things are going, I just can't see Celtic letting that slip. So there you go. But let's go back. Half time at Goodison now. It's Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0 at half time. Everton's goal coming from Dominic Calvin in the 11th minute, and the goal that was assisted by Iwobi, former Arsenal player there, getting himself an assist. So Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0. So let's have a look at the Premier League table as it stands. So if it stays like that, Everton will move up to 12th in the table, and Crystal Palace, they'll be equal on points with Crystal Palace, but they'll have 1 goal worse goal difference. Manchester City will cut the deficit at the top to 1 point with Arsenal. Arsenal will have 27 points. Manchester City will have 26, but Arsenal will have a game in hand, obviously, and their game in hand tomorrow is away at Southampton, as we all know. And Brighton currently in 8th, 1 point behind Liverpool, who are in 7th. Liverpool earlier today lost 1-0 at Nottingham Forest. Really, really bad result for them. and Forest are now off the bottom. Leicester are sitting bottom. And as we know, Steven Gerrard got sacked after their woeful performance the other night when they lost 3-0 against Fulham. So what do people think? Who do you think is going to go in at Everton and... Sorry, go in at Aston Villa and take over from Steven Gerrard? What's your thoughts about that? So let's see. So Craig AFC 87 says the scariest thing about Haaland is that he's only 22 years old. I know. It's mad, isn't it? He's only going to get better as well, and he's scoring goals like they're going out of fashion. It's just ridiculous. And Tony says the man's a beast, Craig. He's not even peak yet. Exactly. What's he going to be like when he hits his peak? It's terrifying. Haaland could be the first ever player to buy for 1 billion. Yeah, probably, mate. If what do they call it? That fair play or whatever it is. Restrictions don't kick in. Craig AFC 87 says Tony Blackwell, exactly. He's far from reaching his peak. It's absolutely frightening. 100% with you there, mate. 100%. Bargav, damn, haven't seen someone like Haaland since Messi and Ronaldo. Yeah. It just makes you wonder what those two would have done in the Premier League at their peak. I would have loved to have seen Messi at his peak in the Premier League. I really would. It would have just been terrifying. Haaland getting between 50 to 60 in the Prem this year, says Tony. Yeah, I think he will as well. And I think all competitions, they'll end up getting about 65. Bargav, Mbappe is nowhere near. No, Mbappe. What is he playing at, that guy? He's causing all sorts of mayhem at PSG as far as I can see. And to think Arsenal nearly signed him. Thank Christ we didn't. Because it sounds like he would have been a bundle of trouble. Tony Blackwell says Craig and City got him on the cheap when you think about it. What was it, 48 million? Jesus. Unbelievable. Craig AFC, Tony Blackwell, very true indeed. Yeah, it's madness. It really is. It's complete and utter madness. Del Boy Gunner TV's in the chat. I'm in now. I'm trying to get them to put Warren's team talks onto the big screen. Get it up on Del Boy. I want my dulcet tones coming out in the pub in Dublin. And fair play up to all the Dublin people if they have put it on. Love you all, fellas. Don't forget, subscribe to Warren's Team Talk YouTube channel, and also to my good mate Del Boy Gunner TV and his son Zach Football TV. Do it. If you know what's good for you, you will do it. Don't say I never gave you anything. So big up the people of Dublin. I hope you're enjoying the show. And Tony Blackwell says, Tony Ibarra, don't think you're far off there. Best part, Kane and Salah will be like the poor kids. They'll get lucky to get 24 goals. He's probably going to get 24 before the new year at this rate. And he's got 17, hasn't he? Yeah, he definitely gets 24. What am I talking about? He'll get 24 probably before the beginning of December. It's crazy talk. Mind you, there is a World Cup coming up. So he might not. Dad says, hello, Warren from Salford. Currently 1-0 to County after a lovely 45 plus 2 minutes goal. Fair play, mate. I hope they keep it up for you. Very pleased to hear that. Yeah, good. I'm pleased to hear it. I hope you're well and having a great day, and that the people of Salford are being nice to you. Barcave says Haaland wants to be a world traveller. Haaland wants to be a world traveller like Ibrahimovic. He's going to score 100 goals and leave. Do you reckon he will? But who's going to pay the money for him? This is the thing. Do you know what I mean? Who is going to pay the money for him? Because City are they're not going to let him go cheap. Especially if he continues to bang goals the way he is. They're not stupid. They're not just going to let him go for like silly money, are they? They're really not. And people go to Salford. People go Salford being nice. You must be dreaming. Oh God, yeah. I guess so. I have to say I've never been to Salford. So yeah. I remember I went to Stockport once. I've told you that story before, and it didn't go well. It didn't. There was a fire drill and bloody coach, and just better not talk about it, mate. Mind you, I got it made up for it a couple of years ago. I met a lovely young lady on the tube in London from Stockport and had a lovely, lovely chat with her. She was fucking gorgeous as well. But yeah, less said about that, the better. He got a £200 million release clause and cheaper for Madrid. Madrid and PSG down the line. Well, yeah, but Jesus Christ. I don't know. I mean, if he, at the end of the day, if he wants to go to one of those two clubs, then he will. It's simple as that. All he needs to do is just refuse to sign a new contract. And then when the contract expires, he will go, won't he? Simple as that. Carl Walsh Gunners in the chat. The big man, he's here. Hi, Carl. How you doing, fella? Big up, Warren. I hope you're well, mate. I'm joining late. I was on a night shift last night. Going in again tonight. This Haaland is the new breed of footballer. He can achieve whatever he wants. 100%, fella. 100%. He's just absolute beast. He's already scored 2 goals today. And we saw a comment today on the BBC website that he'd scored 17 goals already this season. 17. It's insane. He only needs to score 6 more goals, right? And he will equal the total that the winner of the Golden Boot. 6 more goals, and he equals the total that the Golden Boot winner got last season. That is absolutely insane. It's madness. Craig AFC 87 says Haaland dad has said his son will only be at Man City for 2 years. Well, the only way he's going to do that is if he refuses to sign a contract. And then he just lets it run down and then he goes to a new club. But they're going to have to pay that fella some serious wage. They really are. Bargav says 32 is Premier League record. He could break it. Mate, yeah, well, probably by November. It's right. No, I'm only joking. No, he probably could. It wouldn't surprise me because he just can't stop bloody scoring. It's absolutely ridiculous. The amount of goals that fella is scoring is crazy. And I'm telling you, he's going to break Dixie Dean's goal scoring record. I'm sure of it. He really is. Dixie Dean, he scored 60 goals, I think it was, in one season for Everton back in the 30s. So, yeah, fair play to him. And, you know, it's just unbelievable. And he's just up in the bar for everyone else, and which is a good thing. It really is. It is a good thing. Tony Ibarra says, will Haaland bring the Ballon d'Or back to the Prem? Christ, who knows? They don't like giving it to players playing in the English league, do they? But we'll see what happens. I'm not convinced they'll get it, to be honest, because, like I said, they've got a track record of really wanting to give it to players in the English Premier League. Craig AFC 87 says, how many hat-tricks will Haaland get in the Premier League? I reckon 10, maybe 12. Well, listen, I reckon he might get one this afternoon. Never mind how many he's going to get in the season. I don't know, man. How many's he got so far? Gracie-Mae, big up, Ron. I just got back from work, so I thought I would tune in. Thank you, Gracie. Thank you very much for tuning in. I enjoyed your chat the other night with Prince Ford. That was let's say it was just, let me just say it was interesting. Right? It was interesting. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. Gracie, when is your teacher coming on for that debate with you about Arteta? That's what I want to know. That is what I want to see. I want to see you going head to head with him and like telling him what I really want to see it. I know before he was being quite elusive about it, but Arsenal weren't doing too well at the time. So maybe now things have improved. You might have more luck getting him on the channel, because I'm telling you, that will have record views when you get him on. Everyone, please go and make sure you subscribe to Gracie-Mae's channel. She's just broken through the 1,000 subs barrier, so please go and show her some support and whatnot. She does excellent content. She has excellent guests, so please go and show her some support. Craig AFC 87 says, hi, Gracie. Jeff P, I think he's a good player, but I also think it shows that the standard of players in the Premier League is today is lower than it was in the 90s. Mate, I think it's an all-time low. I'm not joking either. Since I started watching football in the 70s, I have to say, without a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion, that the standard of football in England's top flight is the lowest I've ever seen. I'm not joking. I just think it's really, really poor. And when you think about the amount of money that clubs in the English league spend, I just think that's shocking. Tony says, afternoon, Gracie. Gracie says, yes, it was good. I actually met him at the game on Thursday. Yeah, I messaged you about that game, Gracie, because I was worried about you, right? Because I heard that there were the riot police had to be called because the PSV fans were ripping up seats and stuff like that. I hope you were okay and nothing untoward happened. Because like I say, when I heard about that, I was really concerned. But I hope you're okay. And and I've got no doubt that you would have been able to handle yourself, because I'm telling you something, I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of you, that's for sure. And Gracie says, I hope soon. Yeah, I hope so, because I think it would be superb. Craig AFC 87, I think Haaland got 3 or 4 hats already. Mate, I reckon he could get about, if that's the case, he could get about 10 at least. I reckon he's likely to get another one today. Tony says, I get that, Jeff. Pampered a lot of them these days compared to actually putting in some graft. Yeah, mate, Tony, how do you think some of these players would get on today going up against the likes of Frank Lampard Sr. and Billy Bonds and like Peter Nicholas and Peter Storey and like Billy Bremner, and they wouldn't last 5 minutes. They get absolutely destroyed. Gracie-Mae meeting Fuad at the game on Thursday was great, very funny. And Gracie-Mae says, that was after the game, I was long gone. Thank God for that. Because like I say, I was really worried about you. I really was. Bless you. But yeah, thank God. Because I heard it, the riot police had to be called or something. So anyway, guys, let's get back into the matches and see what's going on. See what's going on. Let's see what the scores are. Suspending any early goals in the second half. Right, so we're 2 minutes in, and it's still Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 2, Brighton 0, and big shock, guys. Erling Haaland hasn't scored for 5 minutes. So there you go. So yeah, that's the game. The games have just started, and it's Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 2, Brighton 0. Let's have a look at the line and see if any of the sides have made any changes. So Everton have not made any changes, and neither have Crystal Palace. And let's go to the Manchester City game, see if there's been any substitutions at half time. And Man City haven't made any changes. Look at Man City's bench. They've got John Stones, Ake, Gundogan, Alvarez, Foden, all on the bench. Jeez, it's insane. That bench is just by itself is ridiculous. Yeah, Brighton have made a substitution. They brought on Lamptey at half time for Lallana. So there you go. I wonder if Lamptey's going to go up front with Welbeck, because Lallana started up front with Welbeck. Well, we'll see. We'll see, won't we? But let's see if there's been any early goals in any of our other games. Let's go up to the Championship. So it's currently Middlesbrough 0, Huddersfield 0, 54 minutes gone there. And the other game, 50 minutes gone at Bramall Lane, and it's still Sheffield United 0, Norwich 2. Those two first half goals from Norwich from Timo Pukki still have Norwich City out in front. And let's see what's going on with the Rangers game. And it's still Rangers 0, Livingston 1. Noble scored in the 4th minute for Livingston to give them the lead at Ibrox. 5th gone there. So there you are. Let's see is there anything more in the chat? Ron, you can imagine the tackle and Frank Sr. saying, your legs are over there. Exactly. Exactly. What did song used to go about Billy Bonds? His eyes are blue. He's 6'2". Billy Bonds, he's after you, or something like that. Oh dear, those were the days, mate. That was when football was proper football. Jeff P. most teams used to have at least one player who could be interesting to watch, but that's not the case these days, in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely, mate, and certainly did. Like that Leeds team in the 70s as well. They were nicknamed Dirty Leeds, and they were called Dirty Leeds for a good reason. They were. Anyone who hasn't seen it, I really, really encourage you to go and watch the film. Like the Damned United. It's about Brian Clough's management career. He's absolutely brilliant. The Clough family, though, they really don't like it because they think it portrays him in a really, really bad light. But it's absolutely brilliant. I think it's brilliant. But the football you see is very accurate. That's what the football used to be. The tackles that used to go in were like unbelievable. There would have been like 3 or 4 players getting sent off a game if they put in tackles like that these days. Jeff P says, good result for Forest earlier. It's good to see them back in the Premier League. It is, and I really hope they don't go down because it's good for the Premier League for them to be here. Jeff, they could have scored 3 today. Forest look better than Liverpool. I mean, that's shocking, isn't it? What the hell's going on at that club? What are they doing? Seriously, what is going on? It's just crazy. They look like they turned the corner. Things had started to turn around, and then this happens. It's just an absolute madness. Brian Clough would be pleased, Tony. Yeah, he would. He'd be absolutely delighted. And I talking about Brian Clough. I heard this story the other day that Stuart said about Pat Jennings. It was absolutely hilarious. I think it was on Talk Sport. And apparently it was after a game at the City Ground between Notts Forest and Arsenal. And the ball went out of play behind the Arsenal goal. Pat Jennings went behind the goal to retrieve the ball. And as he was doing so, someone in the Forest end threw a dart at him and it went in his arm. So Pat just like pulled the dart out and put it in his goal with his goalkeeping, his bag where he keeps his goalkeeping gloves. Half time, he took it in, gave it to Pat Rice, apparently. Was it Pat Rice? It was one of the Arsenal staff. They took it in to Brian Clough and said to Brian Clough, this is bang out of order. Your fans are a disgrace. Rah, 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 like that. And apparently, a few weeks later, a letter arrived at Arsenal for Pat Jennings from Brian Clough. In the letter, it said, Dear Pat, I have absolutely no sympathy for you whatsoever. He said, every time you come to play Notts Forest, you stop everything coming at you. So I've got no sympathy. Right? Kind regards, Brian Clough. It was absolutely hilarious. Oh dear, I saw that on YouTube. It was hilarious. And Tony's saying it's Brighton 2. Manchester City 2, Brighton 1. So let's go and check that out. Sorry, guys, we missed that. Me telling you that story. Let's go. And it's time. Brighton 2, Manchester City 1. And let's see what happened. So Trossard scored in the 53rd minute and it was assisted by Marsh. Let's see what happened. Let's see how that goal went in. So that makes it a bit more interesting, doesn't it? So, goal, Manchester City 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. Leandro Trossard, Brighton and Hove Albion, right-footed shot from the left side of the box to the bottom left corner, assisted by Solly Marsh. There you go. So Man City have had their lead cut to 1 goal by Brighton. And in the same game, this has happened. Your book, son. There's been a yellow card. There's been a yellow card for Riyad Mahrez of Manchester City. He was shown a yellow card for a bad foul, apparently. And Trossard has just had another effort. He just missed with another one. He had a header from the centre of the box, but it missed to the left. And that was assisted by Tariq Lamptey with a cross. So it sounds like Brighton are making a bit of a fight of this game now. So it could get quite interesting at the Etihad if this continues. But let's see if Erling Haaland decides to have anything to say about it. So the other game in the Premier League is Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0. 58 minutes gone there. 58 minutes gone at the Etihad. It's Manchester City 2, Brighton 1. Let's go up to the Championship and see what's going on there. It's still Middlesbrough 0, Huddersfield 0. 62 minutes gone there. That is a really tight battle down at the bottom of the Championship. Huddersfield, I believe, are bottom. Let's see. There we go. Here's the table. Huddersfield are bottom and Middlesbrough are 4th bottom. So it's a real tight battle there down the bottom of the table. And then Norwich are 2-0 up away at Sheffield United. If Norwich win that game, they leapfrog Sheffield United and Burnley and move up to 3rd. And they'll be 3 points behind Blackburn Rovers with a game and the leaders QPR. So if they start picking their form up, they could be in the hunt for the Championship title this year. So Norwich City 2-0 up away at Sheffield United. And let's go and see what's going on at Ibrox. And it's still Rangers 0, Livingston 1. Rangers still trailing to that Nublé 4th minute goal for Livingston at home. Absolutely diabolical result for them. And you just wonder how much more of this that the Rangers fans and the board are going to put up with from their manager before they decide to pull the trigger. I can't see it. Surely he hasn't got much more left in the tank. I'm wondering whether they might try and make a move to bring Steven Gerrard back, but who knows? So Tony says, exactly, Jeff. Brian Clough would be pleased, Tony. Yes, he would. And it was a bullet of a shot, Warren, says Tony. Yeah, there you go. Your piano skills are good, Warren. Been practicing since last week. Mate, they're getting better every single week. Keep practicing and practicing. And every day I'll get better and better. There you go. So don't forget, guys, go and subscribe to Del Boy Gunner TV. He is my YouTube channel of the week. I'm going to be promoting Del Boy's channel all this week on my channel. So please make sure you go and check him out. Del Boy and I will also be doing a video about the career of the legendary Brady soon. So make sure you keep your eyes open for that one because it's going to be something special, I assure you. there he is, Del Boy meeting the great man himself after an Arsenal game recently that Del Boy went to at the Emirates. So they had a good natter. And this clip you see there was when Del Boy was talking to him about the one and the only famous Eamon Dunphy. So, yeah, go and check that out because it is really, really funny. So, just over the hour mark now, and it's still Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. And in the Championship, it's still Middlesbrough 0, Huddersfield Town 0, and Sheffield United 1 now, not Norwich City 2. So Sheffield United have pulled a goal back. So let's go and check out what happened there. So Sheffield United have scored through Osborne in the 62nd minute. Ben Osborne of Sheffield United took a left-footed shot from the left side of the 6-yard box to the bottom right corner. So there you go. Sheffield United pull a goal back at home to Norwich. So they now trail Norwich City by 2-1 at home. Let's see if they can salvage something from this game in the time that remains. Another 26 minutes to go. Or will Norwich restore their 2-goal lead? Let's see. Let's keep a careful eye on that and see what happens. And it's still raining. Livingston 1 up in Scotland. 63 minutes gone there. Livingston holding on resolutely to their 1-goal lead. And let's get back into the Premier League. So it's Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 2, Brighton 1. Erling Haaland there scored 2 goals in the 22nd minute, and then he added a second from the penalty spot in the 43rd minute, and then Trossard pulled one back for Brighton in the 53rd minute. So Manchester City 2-1 up at home to Brighton, and Everton 1-0 up at home to Crystal Palace. So there we are. Let's go to Goodison. And Everton have just scored, funnily enough. I was just about to go up and see what was going on at Goodison. I was just about to say, let's go up to Goodison Park and see what's going on there. And Everton scored just as I clicked on it. So it's Everton 2, Crystal Palace 0. There you go. Everton 2, Crystal Palace 0. And Gordon scored in the 63rd minute for Everton. Let's see how he scored that. So Anthony Gordon Everton had a right-footed shot from very close range to put Everton 2-0 up now against Crystal Palace. So let's see if that has any effect on the Premier League table. Let's see if we can see. Let's see. So Everton are now above Crystal Palace in the Premier League table. They're both on 13 points. Everton have a goal difference of -2, and Crystal Palace have one of -3. But Crystal Palace do have a game in hand by the looks of it. So very interesting. Very, very interesting. Very tight there in the middle of the table. And Everton, thankfully for their supporters, are having a better time of it this season than they did last, by the looks of it. So there you go. Everton 2-0 up now at home to Crystal Palace. Let's have a look, see what's been going on with the match stats. And Palace have had the lion's share of possession. They've had 53% possession today. Everton have had 8 shots. Everton have had, Crystal Palace have had 7. Everton have had 5 shots on target. Crystal Palace have had 2. And the corner count is 4-3 in favour of Palace, and the foul count is 12-8 to Everton. So that's interesting. So let's carry on and see what's going on here. So Everton 2, Crystal Palace 0. We have a lot of pushing and shoving now of players from both sides. More VAR to check to see if anyone crossed the line. I have to say I don't know what that's all about, but Brighton are making their second substitution of the game as Purvis Estupiñán, dear me, what a name. It comes on to Joel Veltman, just over 20 minutes remaining, and Brighton are still in this. So Paulson, the former England goalkeeper, on BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra. It'll be like for like change injury to Veltman. They'll keep the same shape and system as worked well. This will be a change they won't have wanted to make. So there you go. So 70 minutes gone. It's Everton 2, Crystal Palace 0. Manchester City 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. And let's see what's going on in the Championship. 70 minutes gone at Bramall Lane. It's Sheffield United 1, Norwich City 2. And it's still 74 minutes gone at the Riverside Stadium. And it's still Middlesbrough 0, Huddersfield 0. No one seems to be able to find the breakthrough there. So very, very tough game by the sounds of it. Let's go and have a look at that game and see what the match stats are looking like. Yeah, so it looks like quite a tight game. Middlesbrough have had 55% possession. Their shot count is 9-8 in favour of Huddersfield. Shots on target is 3-2 to Huddersfield. The corner count is 4-2 to Huddersfield. And it's 10-6 on the foul count of Huddersfield as well. So yeah, it looks a very, very tight game, to be fair. Reflected line, I guess. So Middlesbrough 0, Huddersfield 0. And let's see the lineups. So Lenihan got booked for Middlesbrough, and Middlesbrough have made 5 substitutions so far. Bowler has come on for Giles in the 68th minute, as has McGree. He came on for McNair. Half-time, Hackney came on for Moat. And in the 60th minute, Muniz Carvalho replaced Akpom. And Force replaced Watmore. I'm assuming that's Tubal Akpom, the guy who was at Arsenal. Huddersfield, on the other hand, they've made just one substitution, and that's Rhodes. He came on the 62nd minute for Ward. 23,000 people in attendance at the Riverside, and it's Middlesbrough 0, Huddersfield Town 0. So let's see what's going on. And there's been a goal at Bramall Lane. There's been a goal at Bramall Lane. It's now Sheffield United 2, Norwich City 2. Wow, so Sheffield United have pulled it back. They pulled it back. It's now 2-2. Let's see what happened there. 73 minutes gone in that game, and McBurney scored 71st minute for Sheffield United. And let's see how he got the goal. So Sheffield United 2, Norwich City 2. Oliver McBurney had a left-footed shot from very close range to the bottom right corner to make it 2-2 in this fiercely contested battle at the top of the Championship. So it's now Sheffield United 2, Norwich City 2. Let's have a quick look and see what that does for the Premier League table. It pushes Norwich back to fourth. They were sitting in third earlier. They're now in fourth. There's still only 3 points behind. And this looks like there may have been another goal. No, they just updated the table. So Norwich are now down to fifth. They're 5 points off the leaders. Sheffield United have jumped above them into fourth. They're 1 point ahead on 26 points, and Norwich have 25. So there you go. All fun and games there in the Championship. So let's see if Rangers have managed to pull goal back or not. And no, it's still Rangers 0, Livingston 1. 72 minutes gone there. And Rangers are still trailing by 1-0 at home to Livingston. And Manchester City have got a third one. It's Manchester City 3, Brighton 1. And let's see if we can guess who got it. I'm going for Haaland. No, it's De Bruyne. He scored in the 75th minute, and it was assisted by Bernardo Silva. Let's see how that goal was scored. Manchester City 3, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. De Bruyne, Manchester City, right-footed shot from outside the box to the top left corner, and that was assisted by Bernardo Silva. So City now 3-1 up at home to Brighton. Just 15 minutes to go. Surely now that's it. The game's in the bag for them. The points are secure. But you never know. You never know. You can't write teams off so soon. But but I think you can today. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Tony says it's that time again. Fireworks! Exactly. And Bargav says, let's go, Brighton. Yeah, they're doing all right. They're doing all right. Is there an early championship favourite for promotion? Let's see. Let's have a look at the table and you can tell me what you think. So it is quite tight up the top, though. QPR, Blackburn, 1 point clear of the chasing pack. But then there is 4 points separating third and sixth. And then a further point separating the further 3 points separating the remaining the teams down to 10th. So who knows? QPR are in pole position at the moment, but they have a game in hand, so as well that could go to 3. For me, I'd say if I was having to put money on it, I'd say, but don't listen to me, I'd say Burnley and Norwich. That's what I would say, but what do I know? I clearly don't know what I'm talking about. So what? I don't know why that's come up like that. Still, yeah. So let's go through the rest of these chats. Remember Peter Purvis on Blue Peter. I do, Joanne. I remember him, and I remember John Noakes and his dog. What was his dog? Shep. Get down, Shep. That's what he used to keep saying. Did you ever get a Blue Peter badge, Joanne? That's what I need to know. Didn't he become Darth Vader, Joanne? He did, said Tony. He was. But the problem was he had this really thick West Country accent, didn't he? So they got another guy to do the voice. I can't remember the guy's name, but his voice was a lot more menacing and sinister than what David Prowse's was. 3-1 De Bruyne, quality goal. There you go. No hat-trick for Haaland today. He's off. Was he been sent off or has he been substituted? Let's go and check that out. Yes, substitution. Manchester City. Julian Alvarez replaces Erling Haaland. Yeah, so no hat trick today. Pep's taken mercy on Brighton and said, yeah, you come and have a sit down, son. You've done a good job. So there you go. Let's Everton 2, Crystal Palace 0. Crystal Palace, John Philippe Mateta is next in the book. He's so late on Connor Cody, but referee Simon Hooper says a yellow is enough. Maybe he's a bit lucky to stay on. So he's had a yellow card, the fella. So it's time for your book, son. my skills, as you can all hear, are improving bit by bit. And Tony Blackwell says James L. Jones did the voice for Vader. He certainly did. And yeah, he had people up by the throat and all sorts. There's a few players in that Arsenal dressing room I'd like to have up by the throat, that's for sure. But there you go. Less said about that, the better, probably. Kevin De Bruyne now has 11 goals and assists in the Premier League season. Erling Haaland, 20, has more. Jesus. Dear me. This is getting out of hand, the person said. It is. Erling Haaland has 20 goals and assists. That's ridiculous. And it's not even October. 20 goals and assists. That's insane. Oh my God. Statman Dave says. Fair play, that Statman Dave. Joanne Smith says, no, I didn't get a badge. I nearly wrote a letter to Jim Wolf. Jim will fix it. Oh, I'm glad that you didn't. Dear, oh dear, yeah. I remember seeing that clip of one of our glorious supporters talking about Jimmy Savile, and he got in a lot of trouble for that at the time. But talking about John Lydon, let's just have a see. Let's see what he had to say about the
no smoking on the premises. Fucking hell, needs torching. That new emblem, right? I'm sorry, I grew up a proper gooner. Look at that plastic fucking cannon made in Italy. It's a joke. That's sad. You have let me down, you fucking bastards. I grew up supporting you, and I get that. The fucking thing's facing the wrong way.
Yeah, there you go. Johnny Lydon never won a hold back with his opinions. I have to say, I agree with him. I fucking hate that badge, and I hate that new stadium. Fair play. Laugh out loud, Joanne. Exactly. He was an absolute wrong'un, wasn't he? He really was. So let's see. We must be getting near to final score now, I would have thought.
Yes, back heels. McNeil following through.
No, we don't want that. No. And there's another goal. There was two. Another goal at Goodison Park. And it's now Everton 3, Crystal Palace 0. Let's see what happened there. So it's Everton 3, Crystal Palace 0, and McNeil scores in the 84th minute for Everton. Again, that was assisted by Iwobi. Looks like Iwobi's having a good season so far. Really turning it on for Everton. So let's see how McNeil got his goal. Let's see. So Everton 3, Crystal Palace 0. Dwight McNeil, Everton left-footed shot from the centre of the box to the centre of the goal, assisted by Alex Iwobi. So Everton now 3-0 up, and surely now that's them home and hosed. Everton 3-0 up, and that is now them up to 11th in the table. They're a point behind Brentford, who are in 10th, and 2 behind Fulham, and and Brighton. So yeah, they're doing really well. And 3 points behind Liverpool. What's the odds on them finishing higher than Liverpool in the Premier League this season? Can you imagine that? If you predicted that at the start of the season, people would have thought you were off your rocker. Well, there you go. Everton now 3-0 up at home to Crystal Palace. In the Championship, it's still Middlesbrough 0, Huddersfield Town 0. 2 minutes to go there at the Riverside Stadium. And Sheffield United 2, Norwich City 2 in our featured game at Bramall Lane. And Albion that's on at Ibrox. And it's Rangers 0, Livingston 1 still at Ibrox. And Livingston now have had a man sent off in the 78th minute. That's Boys for showing red in the 78th minute. So it's time for him to see this.
That's it. You're off.
So Livingston are down to 10 men, but they're still leading Rangers by a goal to 0. 5 minutes left to play there. Let's see what happens there. I wonder if Rangers will get a dodgy penalty in the last few minutes. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm not casting any aspersions about Scottish referees. I'm not, but it has been known to happen. Let's just say that. So let's put that on. And there's been a substitute into the final couple of minutes of normal time, and Brighton make 2 more changes. Billy Gilmore and Jeremy Sarmiento are on for Alex McAllister and Pascal Gross. So there you go. Brighton ringing the changes there, trying to claw back and make a dramatic ending to the game at the Etihad. Too far gone, to be honest. Jeff P's in the chat again. He says John Lydon said once people knew about Savile at the time as well. Yeah, he did. He did. I've heard him. He was talking about it on some chat show, and they played a clip of it. And everything he said about him was true. And he got into a lot of trouble about it at the time. And people say that was the reason the Sex Pistols album got banned back in the day, because of that. It was nothing to do with the lyrics or the song about the Queen or anything like that. It was because he was trying to out Jimmy Savile. But there you go. Tony says, waiting for his program. John Lydon reviews the grounds. Really? Is he going to do that? Mate, I would love to see that, because that fella, he's proper. He is. He's proper. He's proper Arsenal, that fella. Jeff P says, Everton seem to have turned the corner now under Lampard. Yeah, they do, don't they? And fair play to them. Joanne says, I've got a sign up on my wall at the front of that with the badge on the right way. I've got a sign up on my wall at front with the badge the right way. I hope you've got the right bloody badge, not that crappy plastic one that we've got at the moment. Joanne says, I remember years ago I used to have a beautiful Arsenal crest, and I gave it away to an old girlfriend. I fucking regret it. I really do. Need Palace to get 1 goal to get my prediction right. Yeah. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did say that. And Jeff P says the yellow and red cards on this channel are great. Thank you, mate. I made them myself. I did. I made them myself. I'm thinking about putting some other ones in. I'm thinking about doing ones for VAR as well. But I don't know. That's what I'm thinking about anyway. Arsenal are going to win the league. I'm saying it now. Joanne, you saw that I put a bet on, right? I put a £5, and if Arsenal do win the league, it will pay out at £42. And if it does pay out, I'm putting the winnings. I'm giving the winnings to the British Heart Foundation. You'll be able to see the betting slip on my Insta story. Tony says that's a bold statement, Joanne. Terry been speaking to you. Exactly. Terry has been working his magic, casting his spells. Oh dear. Does he think Arsenal going to win the league, Tony? Jesus Christ, that man, he needs help. Tony Ibarra, that's a strong statement, Joanne. I don't think Arsenal will win it. I can see Arsenal losing 9 games this season. Yeah, me too, mate. I can. I think it's all going to fall apart before long. I really do. But I backed my talk. I said if they beat Liverpool at home, I would put a bet on them to win the league title. So I did, and I got a free £5 bet. I found a free £5 bet, so I thought I'd put it on. So there you go. If Arsenal win the league, are you going to sing the Mick Arteta song? No, I am not. I will put on here. I don't care if I get done for copyright. I'm going to put the old Arsenal, good old Arsenal song. That's what I will do, because that's a proper Arsenal song. In fact, I'll sing it now if you want. Good old Arsenal, we're proud to sing that name. While we sing this song, we'll win the game. Good old Arsenal, we're proud to say that name. While we sing this song, we'll win the game. Yeah, my singing voice ain't great, is it? There you go. So we'll stop that now before you all get it. Good on you, Warren, says Tony Blackwell. No, it had to be done, mate, because I've slated him for months and months and months. Joanne says, no, I've got one specially made, a stone one, red and gold. Well, fair play to you, Joanne. Barkev says that was fantastic, mate. I'm telling you, I will do that. If Arsenal win the title, I'm gonna put that song on here, 100%. So I can't stand the Mick Arteta song. No, it's ridiculous. Singing about, look, this is what I don't like about it. They're singing a song about qualifying for the Champions League, which means finishing in the top 4, not about winning the title. I mean, that just sums it up. You know, years ago when I used to go to Arsenal on a regular basis, the fans used to sing about winning about finishing 2nd or finishing 3rd or finishing 4th. Like, you might get the occasional, when we started getting near quarterfinals and semi-finals of cup competitions, you get fans singing songs about winning cup tournaments as well, but not bloody finishing runners-up or finishing 2nd or nonsense like that. No. I'm not having it. That Mick Arteta song is embarrassing. It is. It's shocking. Yes, Terence, supporter, love that lad, Joanne Smith. And Jeff, mate, you're 100% right. It is embarrassing. It's shocking. And let me see if I can. Is it here? Now, look, I'm going to show you this, right? Because this is this clip shows Arsenal fans at the 1930 FA Cup final, right? What I'm about to show you is a clip of the Arsenal fans singing at Wembley in the 1930 Cup final, and it still makes the hairs stand on the back on my neck stand up.
Wembley. The legend was beginning to unfold. Saturday, April the 26th, 1930, Wembley's Empire Stadium was packed. Arsenal's opponents none other than Huddersfield Town, the same club Chapman had led to 3 successive championship triumphs before moving south.
There you go, guys. There it was. Proper Arsenal. And as you can hear, my voice is a bit shaky. And yeah. Anyway, let's move on before I get really upset. Tony says, laugh out loud, Joe, and I'll get Diesel to start the GoFundMe page to help you. Exactly. You know what I want Diesel to do? Next time he gets Terry to go on his channel, I want him to recreate that scene from Only Fools and Horses where Rodney is trying to like tart himself up in the mirror, like making sure his hair's looking all good and that, because he's had to go out with this young girl, and he doesn't see Del Boy coming, and Del Boy stood behind him smoking a cigar, staring at him in the mirror, because Del Boy thinks that young girl that he wants to go on a date with is his daughter. It is absolutely hilarious. And Rodney sees him, and he just starts shaking his head because he can't believe it's him. It's mad. Absolutely mad. In my opinion, Arteta has been lucky so far this season. Luck at some point always runs out. Mate, he's been lucky since the bloody day he got here. One, he should have never got the job in the first place. 2, he should have been sacked several times before that bloody debacle against Villarreal in the Europa League semi-final, and several times after it as well. Bargo says, I can't get behind most of the player chants, but the Arteta song is a different... I can get behind most of the player chants, but the Arteta song is a different story. Embarrassing. How can you sing a song about finishing 4th in the league? It's just unbelievable. It's embarrassing. It just sums our supporters up. It really does. Anyway, let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going. And the games are finished. It's finished. Everton 3, Crystal Palace 0. Manchester City 3, Brighton 1 in the Premier League. Let's have a look at the Premier League table. See the Premier League table. Here we go, guys. Here it is. Arsenal still top. Man City are now a point behind after their win today. And then Everton up to 11th. 1 point behind Brentford. 2 points behind Fulham and Brighton, and 3 points behind Liverpool. And then you've got Nottingham Forest are off the bottom after the win against Liverpool earlier today. And Palace have fallen behind Everton on goal difference. So there you go. That's the Premier League table. Let's go to the Championship and see what happened there. And in the Championship, it ended Middlesbrough 0, Huddersfield Town 0, and it ended in a 2-2 draw at Bramall Lane between Sheffield United and Norwich City. So see the Championship table. So there you have it. QPR currently top with a game in hand over second place Blackburn Rovers, but they're equal on points. And then the 4 clubs in the playoff spots are Burnley, Sheffield United, Millwall, and Norwich City. So there you go. And there's only 5 points separating top with 6th. So it looks very tight at the top there. And so let's go finally to see what happened in England today. And it ended, finally Rangers equalised. And they equalised in the 1 minute of added on time. And Lundstrom equalised for Rangers. And the goal was assisted by Kent. Let's have a look. I'm sure they might have seen something dodgy about that goal. Goal. Rangers 1, Livingston 1. John Lundstrom, Rangers, right-footed shot from the centre of the box to the top right corner, assisted by Ryan Kent. So Rangers rescued a point at home to Livingston today. And that means that let's have a look at the top of the Premier League table. They're now 4 points behind Celtic, having played the same amount of games, but Celtic have got a way superior goal difference there, you can see. And Livingston up to 6th after their point at Ibrox today, just 3 points behind 4th place St Mirren. So good afternoon for Livingston, but I'm sure they would have preferred the 3 points, which if they'd got, they would now be sitting in 5th, a point above Hibernian. So there you go, guys. That's that. Please, as I've been saying all afternoon, please don't forget to go and check out Del Boy Gunner TV. He's the Warren's Team Talk YouTube channel of the week. And also, please go and check out his son's channel, Zach Football TV. He uploaded a brilliant stream there the other day about unblocking a drain around the corner from where Del Boy lives in Dublin after a huge flood ran there. And fair play to the young fella. He's brilliant. So go and check that out as well. Del Boy does some brilliant content on his channel. He does fan calling shows for a lot of the Arsenal games as well. So I'm not sure if he's doing a call-in show tomorrow or not. But if he is, make sure you check out that. Also, I believe that Jez is doing a stream tonight, 5 o'clock, past 5, something, or maybe 7 o'clock. Let me just have a look. And I'm just having a look and seeing if he is Jez. Yeah, it's 7:30 tonight. He's doing part 2 of his thing about Arsenal in the glory 30s. So make sure you go and check that out. And also check out the show that I did with him a few days ago now on my channel, where we did his Desert Island football matches. This is a new series I'm doing where fans can come on and talk about 5 memorable matches from their time watching football. And it was absolutely brilliant. It's very loosely based around the radio show called Desert Island Discs. So yeah, I thought Jez would be the perfect one to kick that series off, and he kindly agreed to come on and do that with me, and it was superb. And Jez really enjoyed it as well, which I'm glad about. And we talked about 5 games. We talked about an Arsenal Crystal Palace game at Sellers Park in 1972. We talked about the 1971 FA Cup final. We talked about the infamous 1989 title decider at Anfield in 1989. We talked about the 5-4 game at White Hart Lane. And then finally, we talked about Arsenal's final game at Highbury. So yeah, go and check that out. It was absolutely brilliant. Yes, go and check that out. It was fantastic. So let's back into that. Oh, I've gone a bit too far. Right, the chat here from Tony. Good on you, Warren. I think I read that one out. Yeah, I did. Bargav says that was fantastic. Yeah, I love it, mate. I really do. That video, it makes the hair stand on my back stand on there, and it really does. Bargav says I can't stand that Arteta song. I can't either. It's awful. It is embarrassing, Jeff. 100%. Yes, Terrence supporter laugh out loud. Trying to find finished the chat because I want to make sure we put them out. What do you think the Man United score will be? They're playing Chelsea, aren't they, at home? I think it will be 1-0 to United. Either 1-0 or 1-0. I think it could be a 2-3 to United, Joanne. Man United seem to be improving now under Ten Hag. He's quality manager, isn't he? He knows what he's doing. He certainly out-tactics Mikel Arteta at Old Trafford this season, that's sure. Tony Ibarra says same. I think 3-2 United. Jeff, maybe Edu will try to sign Ronaldo in January as he's Portuguese. Christ, I hope not. Bargath, I've got to go. Enjoy the rest of the day and weekend. Hopefully Arsenal will make us happy tomorrow. Yeah, I hope so too. Thank you very much for tuning in, Bargav. I really appreciate it. Thank you, my friend. Tony, great stream again, Ron. Glad to see you again. Keep up the good work. Catch you soon. Thank you, Tony. Take care. Say hello to Terry for me and make sure you keep him under check, mate. He's getting worse every time I see him. Tony Blackwell says, take care, Bargav. And Carl Walsh Gunners back in the chat. Big up, Warren, he says. Big up to yourself as well, mate. I hope you enjoyed the show, buddy. And I hope you have a great night tonight when you're working. Yeah, be careful. After dark, a lot of nutters come out, don't they? Tony Blackwell, thanks. Have a good weekend, says Bargav. Tony Blackwell says, take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And with that, people, I think that's a great way to finish. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you very much. Comments and putting likes on the video. And it's been absolutely great afternoon's entertainment. Thank you for making it special. I really, really enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. And as Tony said, go and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And remember, take care of your friends and your family and your loved ones. And remember to show some love and share some love and kindness around the world. And with that, people, I'm going to check out. So take care, and I'll see you all really, really soon.